let's talk about the EHR function here on the Platinum system. So, you should have watched the Platinum Overview video before you've started this one. So we're going to go right into that. So the EHR button, like I mentioned in that Platinum Overview video, is this little chiropractor right here. So if you left-click that, it's just taking its time to load. This will pop up. Now this has a lot of information in it. As you can see, it shows this patient's x-rays. There's also dates and notes in here. There's a complaint, subjective findings, initial symptoms. There's a lot going on in this section, so I'm going to go through it step by step with you to show you what parts you need to know. First off, if we're looking at this main screen, this initial symptoms, subjective complaints, objective findings, all that is something that the patient health and event coordinator will be putting into people's files. So if you are the scheduling and accounts manager, you may not be touching those sections. These notes here, these happen for all of our patients. The only time you will really have to worry about these notes is if the patient is on an auto accident or workers' comp file. I will go through those particular files in a different video. But let's first start off by going over these buttons here in the top right corner. This is the search button, first of all. I explained how to use the search function in my Platinum Overview video. This is the same thing. The only difference is, instead of showing that standard screen, you would go right directly into the patient's EHR. The second button here is to edit the SOAP notes. That's what these notes in here are called, is the SOAP notes. You should not be touching this unless specified by the doctor. This little arrow right here, this is the clear SOAP notes button. Again, don't touch that unless the doctor specifies. You don't want to erase all those notes that have been put in for that patient. The next button that I am going to be going through is this printer button. And this is actually the view button. So if you click that, would you like to list order and date descending? I prefer not to. I like to see right from the first note up to the present, so I always hit no. This just shows their very first note they ever had put in. And then you can print this. This is really only necessary if someone is requesting medical records. Mainly that happens in auto accident or workers' comp cases. I'm going to hit escape to just get out of that. I don't want to print it. The next button is associated documents. So if we left click that, this will pop up. And then some patients will have more documents, some patients will have less. A few things in here. Let me try to bring you down so you can see that. Okay. So, a couple buttons you'll need to know in this part. The open button opens up whatever document you're highlighted here. You can also just double left click it and this will, like, their document will pop up. Print, again, you can just open this and hit the print button on here. That's what I do. Rename, like say you accidentally put the wrong name in here, then all you would do is you would hit rename. This box will pop up and you can change it, and then you just, once you're all done, hit enter. I didn't change the name, so that's why that popped up. You can delete it, say you saved the wrong file to the particular patient, you can just delete this. It doesn't delete the file like off of your computer, it just deletes it from this patient's EHR. Import is how you put files into a patient's EHR. And to do that, there are a couple ways you may find it. The biggest one you're probably going to be using is paperwork. I have a separate video about how to scan documents in. We'll go through that, but if you need, once you have their documents scanned in, you can hit import, find them in here, and then hit just import in there, and it'll put it right in there. I don't ever touch the export, send mail, or scan button. We have a separate system that allows you to scan, so you don't even need to worry about that. If you need to exit, you can hit exit, or you can also hit escape to get out of there. Now, if you notice, the dots that you see on like your main Platinum screen are also here in the EHR. But if you click it here, it pulls up some slightly different options as opposed to the dots you would pull up at Your standard screen, those are in a separate video. The only thing you need to worry about in this section is imaging. And even then, you don't use this function as the scheduling and accounts manager very much. This just holds all their x-rays or nerve scans if they have any. You don't really need to worry about those, but that is where you would find them. Of course, to get out of the EHR, all you have to do is go back to this and it says return to front desk, and you're back to your standard screen. The next video will be going over the dots. Here I explained this in the Platinum Overview video, that the Platinum Overview, the EHR, and the dots will all have their own videos, so that's what the next video will be.